Welcome to Bulletproof Native Ads. I'm Justin Brooke, and today I'll be your instructor. Today you're going to learn how to tell the entire world about your product for as little as $5 per day. In today's agenda, we're going to cover what can native advertising do for you, creating native ad content, planning your native ad campaign, setting up your native ad campaign, optimizing native ad campaigns for ROI and scale, and then we're going to talk about recommended resources for native advertisers. First, let's talk about what native ads can do for you. Native ads is the best method of persuasion. And what I mean by persuasion instead of persuasion is persuasion meaning it's setting the frame. It's pre-selling the visitor on your product. So it's kind of like the movie Inception, where you're kind of making it their decision to want to buy your product. Instead of sending them to your sales page where the positioning is like now you're trying to sell them on your product, with the right kind of native ad campaign, by the time they land on your product page, they already want to buy it. They think it was their idea. They think that they found you, when in fact it was actually purposefully engineered for you to find them and create that inception moment. It's phenomenal for demand generation. If your product is new to the market or you have a completely new solution and you have to educate the market on what this is and why this is a better solution than other things that have previously been out there, native ads is phenomenal for that because of that whole persuasion thing I was just telling you about. It also disarms skeptical prospect sales defenses, because when somebody just goes right from an ad to a sales page, even just that moment they click on an ad, they know they're going to a sales environment. So they're instantly skeptical and they're looking for a reason not to buy. Most people think that people are looking for a reason to buy, but actually they're looking for something that's like, what's that catch? What's that gotcha? And so they're very skeptical. With native ads and the right advertorial, you can completely disarm that skepticism because it's just content, it's education. And so they lower their defenses and they start actually just learning about what it is that you can do for them. And then they're, like I said, because of that whole persuasion thing, they start thinking, on their own, oh, I want to buy this thing. Everybody hates to be sold to, but everybody loves to buy stuff. Also, with native ads, you can get extremely good click prices. I've seen click prices at 8 cents, 12 cents. I've also seen, things in the 40s and 60s and 80s, but you can get some really, really good click prices with the right ad. And these are all things that we'll show you how to do throughout this course. Lastly, I just wanted to mention that native ads really helps increase conversions and average cart value because it's adding that whole pre-sell, that whole frame of mind thing, and it's kind of filtering out the people because, as you know, when someone gets to a sales page, there's a large majority of them that just bounce immediately. They're just totally not interested. And then there's that small portion of people who convert. Well, native ads help increase that portion of people that convert because it's good at demand generation and persuasion and eliminating the sales defenses. Now, I want to talk a little bit about each network that's available. So these are the 4 best, and then I included social because I like to do a lot of my native advertising using social ad networks. Outbrain is technically the best. Like Outbrain would be considered the Google of native advertising. They have the best quality, but they also have the most rules, which is kind of why they have the best quality, right? Because they have lots and lots of rules, keeping out all the riffraff. I really only like to use Outbrain when I'm trying to extend the reach of a true blog post. Outbrain is, to me, it's more of a content amplification network than it is a native advertising network. And that's kind of gets into jargon differences, and we don't need to get that deep into it right now. But think of Outbrain for when you want to just really just, power up a blog post or some other form of educational content. Taboola is the best general native ads platform. It's the one where it's good for all niches. They have moderate amount of rules, enough rules to keep the quality good, but not so many rules that it's really hard to use their platform. Gemini is from Yahoo, which was acquired by Verizon. They've now formed a new company called Oath. I'm still going to call it Gemini for the time being. They have the easiest interface. It's the best for beginners to get started in because it's, some of the other interfaces can be very intimidating when you get in there. However, Gemini is not the best for all markets. Now, they have targeting for a lot of different markets, but really they are very prominent for health and finance markets. And they also have a lot of other things you can do inside there, like search retargeting and email retargeting. Like, there's a lot of other things Gemini can do other than just native ads. Rev Content is one of the fastest growing networks, and I love the company. I love the ad network. However, because they have not the least amount of rules, I would say content.ad has the least amount of rules, if any rules at all. But because they're a little bit more free with their rules, they attract more riffraff. And so that's the pros and cons of things. They're also a lot cheaper. Rev Content basically has the same traffic that Taboola has. However, because there's more riffraff and fraud, you really need to make sure you're using blacklists. And we'll talk about that in the course. You can get some phenomenal click prices in Rev Content, though. I usually like to start testing in Rev Content and then scale out to some of the bigger ones. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about social. Sometimes for small niche markets or very specific targeting, it's not easy to use the other ad networks or native ad networks. But you can use that same blog post or advertorial with Facebook ads, Twitter ads, LinkedIn, and use kind of the same concepts that you're going to learn today, but get that really granular, tight targeting that Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn allow you to do.